Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Black Ops 6. It is New Year's Eve, which means it's the last day of 2024, a brand new year is ahead of us, and in a few days' time, everybody will finally be able to get all the content from the festive Archies event that was so horribly designed. Treyarch had to issue half an apology, and instead of fixing the problem, they just decided to make it so everybody had to wait until January 2nd to unlock the new Barrett 50 cal. Well, I suppose that's unless you were one of the very lucky people who got to complete the event instantly, because of course nothing about Black Ops 6 can just work right, and that's been the tale of the tape throughout this game's life cycle so far. One bug after another, one broken event after another, one dead lobby after another, one hacked lobby after another. This is certainly not the Black Ops experience we were all hoping for. Over the course of the past week, and realistically the past month, we've been covering the problems with this game, and while there are some redeeming qualities, the list of issues just seems to keep piling up, and I think that's a big reason why the player base is just moving on. They say Christmas comes earlier and earlier every year. Well, I think the COD cycle is now coming earlier and earlier each year. The honeymoon phase seems to be a bit shorter, and the stage at which the community kind of turns their backs on the developers and pine for the old games, well, that seems to start happening sooner and sooner now. This cycle has been a vicious one, especially this year, and I don't think it's really gonna get any better, because what's weird about the COD cycle is what we learned the other day from the former Activision employee. He stated that the devs do not want to work together, and they're forced to build a new game from scratch every single time. This is why the anti-cheat breaks every single year. This is why the quality of life features that we get in one game don't carry over into the next one, and that's also why great functionality, features, and game modes from one game never make it into the next game. Let's think for a minute here, just off the top of my head. You guys know me, like, I love the Call of Duty World War II headquarters and all the functionality that we had within there. That never came back. The earnable characters we had in Blackout, that never returned. It should have happened for Warzone. Warzone's been out forever now, and they still never added those earnable characters that we had in Blackout. We had the weekly challenges from Modern Warfare 3, the get higher game mode from Modern Warfare 3, carry forward in general, like all these different features from over the years, they just get forgotten to time. I'd say that the worst part of the COD cycle is actually the development cycle itself. Just like Justin Taylor said, the developers aren't able to work on one continuous game, like Apex, Fortnite, or Valorant, and they have to begin working on a new title from scratch each time, and they have to do so while predicting what the player base is going to want in 3 or 4 years. This is why out of nowhere we get things like Omni movement in Black Ops 6. It's likely because back during Modern Warfare 2, they saw the feedback about the game feeling slow and fans wanting more movement, so they started working on Omni movement a few years ago, and now we get it here with Black Ops 6. I think this is why we get leaks claiming that COD 2025 is going to iterate upon Omni movement and add wall running, because that's just what they anticipated the player base wanting 2 or 3 years ago. Like, I don't know about you guys, but who is asking for wall running? Even if it's not as crazy as what we saw back during Black Ops 3 or Infinite Warfare, like, who wants wall running? Like, I keep up with COD news each and every day, and while there were some redeeming qualities to the jetpack era games, I personally have not heard a peep from COD fans wanting to go back to advanced movement. Maybe some of you out there, let me know in the comments, but it really seems like people don't really care about advanced movement. Omni movement is enough. I don't think we need wall running or, heaven forbid, double jumping if that ever returns. Like, people want boots on the ground COD. Right now it's more ass cheeks on the ground as people are sliding around constantly, but still, it's not wall running, it's not double jumping, it's not exosuit, or all that other stuff that we tried to forget about the jetpack era games. We then hear the leaks about COD 2026, and I know that we're getting way ahead of ourselves here. Like, we're still in Black Ops 6 for crying out loud, but we got COD 2025 and then COD 2026, but that is going to be Infinity Ward's next game, and right now the leaks are very scarce. The Ghost of Hope has revealed to us that COD 2026 is likely going to be another Modern Warfare game with Omni movement and wall running. How is that supposed to work? And it's also going to include remastered maps from the original Modern Warfare 3. Oh boy, there's nothing I would rather do than wall run across Arkaden or Seatown. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why are they going down this path? And hopefully you guys can see what I mean here. They start working on these games years in advance, trying to predict what players want, and then the real slop comes in when they have to quickly adjust those things based on current fan feedback. Like, they work on one thing, predicting what players want, and then they have to change it based on what players actually want, and then it gets really sloppy. You then throw in the use of of AI to try to make things faster and cheaper. You throw in them having to rework the anti-cheat from scratch every single year, and then you throw in Activision being quite literally like the worst gaming publisher in the history of man. I know other people are going to talk about Ubisoft and EA, but dude, Activision's freaking terrible, man. They're really freaking bad, and because of that, you end up with situations like we have with Black Ops 6. It's so weird. They either intentionally make games bad on purpose now, or maybe it's just incompetence, and I'm starting to think it's a combination of the two. I don't think the devs have any real passion for the series anymore because of the road they've been going down all these years, and I think Activision doesn't care if the game doesn't last the entire year because they make their money with the annual cycle. We learned long ago, ironically, with Black Ops 2, which was set in the far, far distant future of 2025. I'm still wrapping my mind around the fact that we're about to be living in 2025, where back when, like, that seemed like the future. You know, that was Black Ops 2, that was like flying cars and robots and shit, you know? But we learned with Black Ops 2 that if a game is too good, it hurts Activision's bottom line. Isn't that crazy? Like, actually putting out a good product is bad for business, because Black Ops 2 was so good and Ghosts was so bad that a month into the Call of Duty Ghosts life cycle, Black Ops 2 had way more active players on it, despite the fact that it's already been out for a year. This would end up being the last time that they showed active players in the Call of Duty franchise, and it set a very important precedent. If the game is too good, they make less money. When Black Ops 2 came out, it broke all sorts of records. It sold tons of DLC and season passes. They even had $2 camos you could buy and extra credit class slots you could buy. People could not get enough of the game, and the problem was they made the game too good. People weren't buying Call of Duty Ghosts, and they weren't playing it because they would rather go back to Black Ops 2. Activision hated that because they already made their money from Black Ops 2. What they needed was people buying the new game, buying the new season pass, buying the new map packs, buying the new cosmetics and bundles, like making your attack dog look like a wolf. The last thing that Activision wants to do is put out a good product, because that product can only sell for so long if they release yearly games. They need to keep us moving, and that's why, no matter what, the COD cycle keeps churning. They want you to spend all your money on this game and then spend all your money on the next game, not just spend all your money on the current game and then stick to that for the next couple years. No, they want you to keep spending, and that's why they have the annual release cycle. The closest thing we have to Call of Duty being like any other game out there is Warzone, where stuff you do in one year matters the next year. You get these updates here and there, new guns drop, occasionally new maps and new game modes, and each year 30 or 40 new guns come out with the game and a whole bunch of other stuff. The issue is there are so many problems with COD now that even Warzone has been hit with a mass exodus of players, which, like we talked about in a previous video, has Activision absolutely sweating bullets. I mean, the casuals are still there, but the people that helped build the franchise up over all these years are moving away. It's just this completely unsustainable model, and it's only been getting worse year after year. Like we've talked about in recent videos, the entire COD staff is essentially on break right now, and we're a few weeks away from any sort of real news or real updates, but this truly does feel like we are living in unprecedented times. I mean, sure, COD loses players here or there. Sure, there's drama and controversy every single year, but the amount of people that have been leaving Call of Duty right now and seemingly not returning is really eye-opening, not only for fans, but certainly for Activision and Microsoft, who just purchased the company. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they are going to do in response to all this. And here's the hoping, fingers crossed, grab your lucky rabbit's foot, anything you can, man, like fingers crossed that things actually do get better. But when we're talking about Activision and now Microsoft, I'm not going to be holding my breath. As always, I will still be here with you guys every step of the way as we learn more and as more information comes out, more news and all that. So be sure to sub to the channel if you guys haven't already, and let's make 2025 the best year on NerosCinema yet. Like, I've been doing this over 13 years. In July, it'll be 14 years, and that's really crazy to think about. I'm also just very thankful for where I am right now, because I'm in a weird spot, you know, like I never blew up here on YouTube or anything like that, but I also never really fell off either. I sort of just slowly grew and then peaked like 6 years ago, and if nothing else, I've just remained consistent all this time. So I'm super grateful to still be able to do this each and every day. So thank you all so much for being a part of this journey, and Happy New Year's, guys. Happy New Year's to everybody. Have a very safe and happy one, and please, for the love of God, don't drink and drive tonight. If I can reach even one of you by saying that, it will all be worth it. Realistically, a lot of you guys will be going out, so stay where you're going, find a ride ahead of time, or hell, walk home if you have to. Just don't drive. The consequences are deadly, and a DUI can change your entire life as well. Just, it's not worth it. It's never worth it. Don't do it. Be safe out there, guys. Have a great and happy new year. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.